We'll do it live. Hooray! Okay. Let us... No. We'll sit around for a little bit. Wait for people to come in. For those of you who are here, how does the mic sound? Does it sound okay? Does it sound... Oh, maybe it'll sound better if I don't nudge it. Let me do a few things real quick. I want to put it on Twitter. There we go, maybe. Hold on. No. Dadgummit. Let's see. Allow me to poke around for just a little bit. Like I said, as the picture says, hold on a dang second, please, and thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Do that. Excuse me. There's that. Okay, let's turn up the mic a little bit. There we go, I think that's better. Alright, I got a link. Put it on Twitter. There we go. And let me send this to someone real quick. And also I'll mute this so I'm not listening to myself all latent and whatnot. Come on, let me save the link. So while I'm doing this, how is everyone else doing? Everybody doing okay today? Everybody doing not okay? Is everyone meh? I don't know. My day was okay. It was so good that I think I have gotten the will to do this. Doot. This is going to be our little canvas, this random gray thing. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Let's see. Yeah, make it a lot bigger. Get out of here, everything else. There we go. I think that's good. Dude, I want to leave the handle down there at the bottom. But I want it to be... There we go. Okay. So yeah, I hope everyone's been doing okay today. My name is Cabbagehead, and today we're going to be doing some drawing. Last stream I tested, well, to the best of my ability, I tested the Elgato I got recently. A little more improving needs to happen there. But with this stream, we're going to be testing out some not video game stuff. How does that sound? We'll go back to the roots of Cabbagehead streaming, which is drawing things. If you want to comment, or yeah, if you want to comment and it's not letting you, let me know on Twitter or something. Because last stream I went that stream went about 2.5 hours, and it could just be the fact that, there's not a lot of engagement, but there weren't any comments, and I want to make sure that's not on my end. If people just want to sit back and relax and not say anything, that's one thing. But if they actually want to chime in and can't, then that's something I want to fix as soon as possible. So, if anyone is out there, it would be really cool if you could say something in the chat, just so I know that it works. Comment your favorite color, or your favorite food, or your favorite color of food, or your favorite, whenever you go to the beach, what is your favorite kind of seashell to pick up and toss at the fish that swim by? Just anything. But if you don't want to, that's okay. I know some people who can show up and comment things to see if it works. Okay, so in the meantime, I wanted to do the stream. Typically, I plan streams a couple days ahead of time, but I decided yesterday, some crazy cool things were announced recently, and I wanted to continue the victory lap. Also, another idea of what you could comment, just a quick rabbit trail. Another thing you could comment is, how does the mic sound? Because I went back and listened to the other stream from a few weeks ago, and 50% of the time the mic didn't sound to my liking. So if it sounds bad, if it sounds good, let me know. But anyhow, yeah, yesterday was the big day. I've been working on a project for about a month, and I talked in great detail on my last stream about it, but it was a secret. Not a lot of people got to hear the secret. But yesterday I came out and announced it for the world through a cool little animation that I spent probably a month on. It shouldn't have taken that long, but I got sick twice during the development of that animation. I announced that January 13th is going to be the debut of one VTuber named Blue Star Ubu. And you may be wondering, who is this? What are you talking about? And to that I say it's pretty self-explanatory. I am working on a VTuber project. I'm going to create a new YouTube channel. Hopefully reach a wider audience with better equipment and whatnot. Just got a lot of cool ideas. And I've been working on rigging my own VTuber model. And you may be wondering, what does it look like? Well, let me show you, because I'm really excited about it. It's a character I made. I drew it. It's probably going to show when you see that. but here it is. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. There he is. Doesn't that look cool? In my opinion, it does. Just imagine one day, in like a month, this little man in the corner, he's like, hello. He won't talk like that. He'll talk like this. He'll say, hello, my name's Ubu, and today we're going to play Super Mario Brothers 87 for the Nintendo. And then I'm going to sing copyrighted songs and then read super chats. That's going to be me. Look at that adorable face. That's the face of a winner. I drew him all by myself. It's a character design I've had around for a while. And it's cool to finally put this character to good use. But anyway, goodbye, Ubu. We'll see more of you in January. Pew. And before we hop into the drawing, I wanted to show you a cool drawing I did of Ubu and my mascot Messel. Oh, there we go. Isn't that cute? Just the cutest little thing. Yeah, if in the meantime, before the debut stream, if you want to see more of Ubu, he is on Twitter. You can interact with him. You can follow him. You can also find his YouTube channel, and he would appreciate it if you subscribed and followed and became pals with him before he even debuts, and tell your friends about him and all that stuff. Okay, now let's get into the drawing. So, before I really started this VTuber stuff, it's been an idea I've had buzzing around in my head for a while, but one thing I've been working on behind the scenes was a thing called a zine. You want to know what a zine is? Do you already know what a zine is? Yes, no, maybe so. For those of you who don't know, because I didn't know what it was until I started working on one, a zine is basically just like an amateur booklet with pictures and I don't know. I probably won't do the best job of describing it. Basically, imagine a little magazine that's published by a fan of something rather than an actual company. And what I'd been doing was making designs of characters that I wanted to put in a zine. I want to make like I accidentally made a sad Pringles, man. I wanted to make like a bestiary of mythological creatures that you can find in the American South and Midwest and stuff like that. But most of them would be creatures and monsters and characters that I made up. There are a couple that are based on real ones, but I wanted to just kind of show the world some of the crazy characters that I can make up. I don't remember if Pringles Man has alfalfa hair, but we'll give him alfalfa hair. And there's the can that he... Hold on. Give him... There we go. And then there's the... There. And then we'll add some color because we're already in the middle of drawing this. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. There we go. But yeah, one thing I forgot to do before I started streaming was get my booklet of monster ideas that I wanted to put in the zine. And it's going to be really difficult for me to find it now because all the lights are off to keep the birds from chirping. So, how's about we just come up with an idea for a new monster on the spot? So let's start a new file here. So the way I've been drawing these, I would start out with a pencil, very basic looking thing here. And then I get a sip of water because I'm getting parched. Excuse me. Let's see. If anyone watching has ideas for a monster we could come, or just throw something out there, like a word, and maybe I could come up with something. Because if there's anything I like to do, and I think I'm decently good at, it's coming up with silly creatures based on random prompts. Now, sorry, one thing I'm not good at is finding a way to comfortably set up this darn mic. So give me a second. Okay. Now, still in the way. Okay, I think that's better. Alright. So one idea I'd had for a monster was like a lady with a really flowy dress, and if you came in contact with her, you were teleported to another place. So I guess we'll get started on drawing a lady. So let's zoom in. Oop, maybe a bit too much. There we go. There'll be the head. We want to shape it up a little more, because I came up with a little style for how I wanted to draw all the characters, and I wanted it to be a really flowy character, so we'll try and come up with some flowy hair. That'll be her face. I guess I still got Sephiroth on the brain because that looks like his hair. Maybe we'll do one Sephiroth thing on this side, and then the other will be like an emo bang or something. We'll come back to the hair in a little bit. There's the neck. So yeah, the way this goes, me drawing these, if I don't already, typically I already have like a rough sketch for what I want. But what I'll do is I'll just kind of feel my way around, and as things show up that I don't want, I'll erase them. And when things I do want end up on the canvas, I embolden them like that. Alright. And arms go there. She's kind of, since she's like a dimension portal person, kind of want her dress to take up a lot of space so that there's more of a chance for her to get you. Alright. I don't like the idea of... I'll try and find a way to constrict the entire design to this one canvas instead of having it go out. Let's see. There we go. Excuse me. I guess we can have some poofy, kind of like prairie lady shoulder thingamabobs, you know. A lot of flowery collars and whatnot. The arms. Most of the characters I've drawn for the zine aren't terribly humanoid. Oh wow. Goodness. I don't need forearms that big. And like I said, as time goes on and things get a little more refined, things get erased as well. So what I want to do is try to come up with a more elegant, like I said, prairie lady design. Maybe have like a bow around here. There. And maybe the ribbons from the bow could flow out like extensions of her hand. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. She's like Dr. Octopus, but a ghost from Little House on the Prairie. And I've been trying to think of a color scheme I want to give her. But all that has been coming to mind anytime I think of this character is just a lot of pale blue and stuff. Give me just a second. I'm writing something somewhere else. Okay. Now what can we do to make the dress a little more interesting? I suppose we can give it some, what do you call it? The things at the bottom of the dress. We'll give it some of that. And then maybe this part is also attached to it. There we go. Okay. So, today has been relatively mundane for me. It was just a normal day, wake up when I typically do, talk to a couple people on the phone, go to work for a little bit. I will say, excuse me, sorry if y'all heard that. You know, they're having the Game Awards right now. Typically not the biggest fan of watching those, just kind of underwhelming. I know what games I liked throughout the year, and it's kind of a coin toss whether or not there will be any announcements I care about. I gotta say, I am a fan of the Smash Brothers announcement. Last time they announced a Smash Brothers character at the Game Awards, I was not a fan. It was actually the character announcement I hate the most. Not because of the announcement itself, but because of the character. Because I do not like the idea of Joker in Smash Brothers. But I do like the idea of Sephiroth in Smash Brothers. I've thought about it before, if there were going to be another Square Enix character in Smash, who would I want it to be? And initially, my answer would be Slime from Dragon Quest, just because I think that'd be a goofy character. You know, most, if not all, Square Enix characters people generally think of, they all tend to fill the same niche, in my opinion. You know, of like the JRPG person. And that's understandable. I do not like that hand. We're starting over. That's understandable, because that is Square Enix's, well, Squaresoft's bread and butter. But for Smash Brothers, a series where, you know, there's already a lot of JRPG characters, and, you know, now we've got, if a character's cool thing would have been, they can be, like, the, goodness gracious, the, like, traditional JRPG rep, you know? Well, we have that now, you know, like the turn-based spell person. Well, you know, Dragon Quest started all that, and now they're in Smash, so I am not good at hands. Not at all. Okay, what does a hand look like? It looks like that. Alright. There. That's better. Not much better, but it'll do for now. Anyway, all that being said, if it's not slime, then you have a long list of Square Enix characters who all kind of do the same thing. In my opinion, I know that there's probably some level of nuance or what have you, but I figured if any of them were to get in, I would prefer it be Sephiroth, since we already have Cloud. It just makes sense to have his bad guy, I guess. This pose for the hand doesn't really work for the character. Let's see. Goodness gracious, I draw the goofiest fingers. Yeah, that's better, I guess. There we go. Something like that. And I'll probably come back and fix that because it looks crazy. I mean, this hand looks okay. The other one I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, I'm okay with Sephiroth. I didn't like flip my lid, but there was a part of me, the same part that was kind of excited whenever Cloud got announced for Smash 4. That you know, it was like the middle school part of me that enjoys Kingdom Hearts. Funnily enough, I'm not the biggest fan of Sora and Smash Brothers. So I don't, it's kind of hypocritical for me to say that, but yeah, I honestly was a little more excited for Steve, which is funny because there was a point when I was not excited at all about the prospect of Steve being in Smash Brothers. But one day I had a dream that Steve was in Smash Brothers, and it was really funny to me. So like I woke up laughing, and I decided, okay, I like this idea. We'll go with that. And then all of a sudden, Steven Smash Brothers happened, and it made me happier. It was a good thing that my opinion had changed because it ended up happening. No, the other eye we'll put here. No, we'll put the eyes a little bit higher. Those will go there. Want her to kind of look welcoming, but I'm not the best at drawing like an elegant lady. Mostly just silly cartoon characters. Let's see. how do I want this eye to be shaped? Like that? No, that looks too evil. There. Yeah, we want her to look a little more serene. As you can tell, I'm a little out of my element. I'm usually drawing goofy things, and also I haven't really drawn anything for a while, but I'm happy to try and get back into the groove. Because I got to a point where I was really happy with how I was drawing. But then some things happened. No, I don't like that. Maybe we'll leave that though. There. Yeah, the working on the VTubing stuff has really taken a lot of time away from some of my other projects. Drawing the character itself was one thing, but then trying to rig it and then trying to animate it took away from a lot of the other projects I was working on. Of course, the animation thing, that is drawing. It's a lot of drawing, but it's drawing the same thing over and over. You know, drawing Ubu is one thing. Practicing drawing a humanoid lady is another. You know, like I can draw a silly alien man any day of the week. But a relatively pretty lady is another story. Okay. And typically what I do with female characters is give them really long hair that covers the ears. I'll leave this ear visible, but this one, let's see, how do we, I guess like that. And then loop around like this. Maybe that will look good. There. Okay. But yeah, even though I feel a little out of practice, it is nice to be working on the zine again. It's funny, I wrote a friend on Twitter back in September asking if he thought someone with familiarity in the world of like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, like campaigning for comics and stuff like that. And I asked him if he thought I should start a campaign for the zine before, like, in time for Halloween or something like that. Because I figured, this is a thing about monsters. Excuse me just a second. It'd probably be cool to have it in time for Halloween. Yeah, it's a good idea that I went with his advice of just go at your pace. There's no reason to rush for Halloween, because if you have a cool book, people want the cool book, It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, people are going to like cool monsters. And I'm glad I went with that advice, because I am still not done. I've got a bunch of other things. It is nice to be able to say, that I have all these projects, and also be aware of the fact that one of them is actually out in the public. Like, in the public eye, I should say. It's so nice to finally feel that. I've thought about what it feels like to have made a thing and for people to have seen it. And not just have it be this thing that sits forever on the back burner, or that I slowly but surely pick away at when I'm not at work. And it's cool. It's cool that I can actually direct people like, hey, you want to see my work? Well, now you can. Instead of just like, well, hold on, I'm not done yet. I can't wait until there's other stuff of mine out there. And this is a little it doesn't really look flowy so much as just all of her hair is clumped together and being flung about. Let's see. There we go. Let me redo this line. Because I want it to be, I want it to be pronounced. I want it to be bold, but I don't want it to look awful. Let's see. I know earlier in the stream I said, or told people to message me on Twitter if they can't, whatchamacallit, if they can't contact me. Banjo-Kazooie amiibo, sorry. And no one has, so I suppose nothing's changed. Okay. No one's written me here. It's okay. Let me just poke around a little bit. Okay, back to what I was doing. And we'll have the back of her hair just kind of like that. Almost to look like a storm's a brewing. You know, that old cliche. I'm trying to think, should she just look like an unassuming prairie lady and that's what's ghostly about her? I'm used to being a little more over the top with this kind of stuff. But, I guess that's okay. Alright, I think that's good. She looks a little smug. There, that's better. Funny what just a couple strokes of the eraser can do for a character. There. Alright. And then we'll erase this stuff. Oops. There we go. Welcome to any new viewers we have. Today I am trying to get back into the drawing saddle because the combination of me working on my VTuber animation and being sick as a dog has kind of put me out of practice. And I decided, why not immediately go to one of the hardest things, which is drawing a lady. I can draw a silly, like, monster character all day long, but practice makes perfect. We're going to draw a lady. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. And I'm the one who's drawn it, so majority rules. But yeah, if y'all have had anything cool happen in your day, anything you want to talk about, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep thinking of things off the top of my head. Also, if you're friends with me on Twitter, let me know if the chat's not working. I don't know if that's a thing that can happen. But if it is, it's probably better I learn that sooner rather than later. Because I would hate to try and become like a big VTuber and just no one can say anything. Kind of defeats the purpose. One of the nice things about VTubing is how quickly it seems you kind of grow traction, because who doesn't like talking to a cool cartoon character? And if you're familiar with those streams, the chat moves really quickly, so it seems really crappy to have a chat that doesn't work. What else do we want to do with this hair? Is that good enough? I don't know. There's something missing. I'm used to doing hair that's a little more cartoonish. But I suppose with a character like this, you want the hair to be a little more simplified. It's already kind of crazy and floaty. So, whatever. It's fine. There we go. Let me check something out. Okay. There. Oops. Get rid of that. Okay. Now let's work on this arm. And this arm we made relatively skinny, so we'll make the other one skinny as well. And we want to work on the proportions a little bit. We don't want one fat arm and one skinny arm. Not a Charger from Left 4 Dead. Now, one thing that I kind of stink at is making like a fleshy skin tone color. Oh man, that hand is awful. I knew it'd come back to bite me in the butt. And I already talked about how I think like a really ghostly pale blue would be cool for this character. So, maybe she'll just be like Snow White. The color, not the character. Snow White wouldn't be as vaguely malicious as she is. Maybe we'll give her a couple of these. Make her look a little royal, regal. Other prestigious sounding adjectives. I don't know what that is. Maybe put a button. I don't know what functionality that button has, but I don't care either. Okay, now we'll go through and do up the bottom here. And one of the reasons that I'm like adding these bold lines is because I leave the bold pencil as the lines for the drawing. The zine is, as I said, it's like a collection of monster profiles, but from the point of view of someone who passionately believes that they exist, but has not found photographic evidence. So these are more like, you know, police sketches of monsters that could be out there, rather than actual mugshots, I guess, would be the equivalent. Excuse me just a second. Sorry. Alright, back to it. Alright, that's looking pretty good to me. Let me get a sip of water real quick. That's the stuff. Let me get that sweet, sweet water. You both grow to love and hate water when you have the sickness I had the past couple weeks, because you just appreciate it so much more, but on the flip side, you are sick of it. There is almost nothing else you can drink. Fortunately, I've gotten to a point where I can start partaking in other things other than water, but goodness, for that week and a half or so, it was just, I don't know. I kind of made a habit of eating and drinking a lot more than water and bread, which is kind of the problem. Okay, but anyway. I know I said I didn't want the character going out of this border, but here I am breaking my one rule. We'll put that down there. There we go. We'll do the ribbon arm thing. I don't think she would like attack with the ribbons. I think it would just be more something she creepily beckons with. I don't know. One day this is going to be the big character and you'll all be like, oh, that's the character that does the beckoning with ribbons. Okay. I remember the day this character was created, and Cabbagehead just threw out the idea of beckoning with ribbons. And I said it was a stupid idea, but Cabbagehead stuck to his gut, and now look at him. He's made his 18th motion picture. No, I'm not making motion pictures. After spending a month making a WarioWare cutscene, a glorified WarioWare cutscene, the last thing I want to do is make motion pictures. There are a couple things that sound really cool in practice that I probably don't imagine I'll be doing too much of. Writing, I don't think I'll ever write a novel. The idea sounds cool, but good gracious, I understand why that stereotype of the just like mentally unwell writer is a thing. You just have to sit there and write. I don't know how people do it. Like, I need something going on, and that can't happen. I don't like that. We'll have her dress flow out a little bit more before it forms into another tendril. There, that looks better. Anyhow, okay, how are we looking? Let's do this. Move her up a little. That's what I'm doing in case you can't see it for yourself. And there we go. Now I do some erasing. And then I'll show y'all how I color these things. Yeah, because I think the way that I color is kind of cool. For the zine specifically. It's, you know, for most pictures it's nothing special. Let's get the pencil back out and fix that, because I don't feel like pressing undo right now. There we go. I don't know what this is over here, so get rid of it. Hey! How are things going? Lucky ABX. I'm just drawing a picture. Trying to get back in the drawing saddle. I hope your day is going fine. Ooh, whoops. I erased a bit too much there. There we go. Good. Well, hey, even if you're indifferent about it, at least the fact you can say it's good is there. Could be worse, I guess. Right now I'm doing probably one of the most boring parts of the drawing, which is just going through and erasing the excessive pencil lines. Yep. And then every now and again I erase one I want to keep. Oh no, this is a character I just made up off the top of my head a few minutes ago. I'm working on a zine of like monsters and creatures and stuff like that. And I had an idea bouncing around my head I wanted to work on, but I was working on other projects, so I didn't really have time to get to it. And I'm only now trying to get back to work on that. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, I thought, what's something kind of spooky? Because every now and again, or I'm trying to come up with a variety of character designs. Some of them are goofy, some of them are cute, some of them are kind of ominous, and then some I'm trying to make, I'm just trying to experiment with the whole spooky vibe, I guess, because it's not really a world I'm entirely familiar with. I'm not a spooky guy. I have an appreciation for spooky, but it's not a world I really indulge in too much, I suppose. And I thought about, what if there was like a ghost lady, and if you come in contact with their dress, she teleports you somewhere and you don't know where it is, and odds are you're not, she's too cute to be spooky. Well, that, I take that as a compliment, because it's supposed to be someone who is alluring, you know. If it's just like a nasty, spooky creature, you'll be like, well, I don't want to come in contact with her dress. I want to run away from her. I had to really battle with making her look like smug. I don't know. I tried to make her look a little more serene by erasing the edges of her mouth a little bit. But yeah, I think ultimately I came up with an okay design. Maybe I'll return to it off stream, but for now, I'm happy with the way she turned out. I haven't thought of a name yet, though. That can be a kind of a fun process. Not as fun as coming up with the idea in general, but I come up with some real stupid names, and I mean that in the best way possible. Do a little bit of erasing here. Those arms gave me a lot of trouble, and to this day they continue to do so. Maybe I'll try and unfatten her hand. No. Why can't things just go according to plan? There we go. But yeah. Another example. I guess I'll tell y'all another example of a character I came up with. There's a monster that is a giant stomach, and it just goes from town to town eating as much food as it can find until basically people make it leave. And I thought that was an interesting idea because it looks terrifying, but at the end of the day, it's basically just like a spoiled child that won't stop eating. And I was like, well, what's a good name for a character like that? And then I decided I'd call it Second Stomach, because people always be joking about how they got a second stomach for whatever food they want to eat. You know, they're willing to overgorge. I don't need to explain what a second stomach is. But I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. That was actually the last design for the zine I came up with before, I got sick. Actually, that isn't the reason. It's really easy for me to kind of derail from a project, no matter, like, even if I'm full steam ahead. What had happened was I was working on another character that I won't tell you about because I want to keep a lot of them a surprise. But the pen on this software stopped working. And I was just like, well, I'm not a big computer savvy man. What am I supposed to do in this situation? So I just stopped. Just went and did something else. And then I started working on the VTuber stuff and got sick a couple times, but I'll stop bringing that up. But now I'm back, and I can go finish that other drawing. I think once I finally finish the zine, I think it'll be a thing people are happy with. I think it's an interesting concept. Not necessarily like a super original one, just to, coming up with an encyclopedia of monsters. But there's always going to be a market for that kind of thing, Okay, let's see how it looks now. We'll erase the top of her head. Oh, the fuzz up there. And then we'll get to coloring, the fun part. Alright. There we go. Now, coloring time. Heck yeah. Excuse me just a second. Alright. Now it's coloring time. So what color do we want the hair to be? Let's see. We'll make the hair like... this will all be kind of beta testing, I guess. Because I'm not entirely sure what I want all the colors to be. But what I do for the zine drawings is I put a layer on top of the lines and I color over it like this. And I'm going somewhere with it. It's not going to stay like this. But this is what I initially do. And now we'll just do this. What is the most interesting monster in the book? Well, that's a good question. I guess it kind of depends on what you constitute as interesting. There are a couple extraterrestrials in there. There's one is based on an actual like American cryptid, but I kind of did my own spin on it, and it's one that I think is really cool. The cryptid itself, like in real life, technically, is called the Poplick monster. There seems to be in a couple states that are like by each other. There's like a recurring urban legend about like a goat man, but they all have like something special about them. And the one that stood out to me was the Poplick monster because in some versions of the story he has hypnosis or something like that. And I was like, well, what about a version of this character that is just this megalomaniacal Saturday morning cartoon villain that lives under a bridge and hypnotizes people? What else? So maybe that constitutes as interesting. What else is there? I'm trying to think of ones I've already talked about in public. There's one called Plant Life, which is basically a mandrake plant, but instead of screaming and killing people, it just eats onions and frustrates farmers because it ate the onions. What else is there? There's a stuffed dinosaur that grants wishes. There's a crocodile buffalo hybrid. A beast with no equal. Well, maybe there'll be one in there. I don't know. But the term a beast with no equal, it stands out to me. I need to get to work on a champion creature. Something like no other. What color did I just do? That one? Okay. Where do I want this color? How about on the ribbon? Now, in case you're wondering why I'm coloring like this, what I'm eventually going to do is put the lines back over it, and it'll look like that. Just give it, I like the way that looks. But before I do that, I color around it like this. Let's see. But yeah, I'd have to... I still have quite a few monster designs that I haven't drawn or even looked at in a few weeks. So maybe one of these days I'll get back to you on some of the most interesting creatures I've designed. Because there are some that I'm blanking on, and then there are some that I don't want to share them yet. I want people to see them for themselves. Let's see. I think after this, I'm still trying to think of a way to make her like a lot more, whatchamacallit, like poltergeisty, you know? I guess I don't want her to be too paranormal looking, because as I said earlier, you see something crazy, you're probably not going to want to walk towards it or get too close to it, at least. Oh, let me erase this real quick. But I think I'll do a lot more blues and whites with the rest of the colors. There we go. Is that the whole ribbon thingamabob? Okay, I think it is. Alright. We got any more chatting? Okay. Let's go for a white here. One thing that's nice about using the paintbrush for coloring is how easy it is to blend colors, and that kind of makes it look ghostly. I don't want it to be too ghostly though, like I said. How does that look? Let's get a little bit more of this. Oh, that doesn't look good. There we go, that's better. Go. So yeah, on a good day, I can crank out a few of these drawings. Maybe crank out isn't the best word to use, but you get what I mean. At least ones that I'm happy with at the end of the day. There have been a couple where I tried and did not succeed, but that's okay. Oh, I guess if her arms are this color, that means that her face will be this color. So she'll look a little more, I keep coloring on the lines, look kind of porcelain. That'll be spooky. That'll be eerie. There we go. And then we put the lines over it. Ooh. Porcelain. Very scary. I think I'll use that blue for the eyelids. That'll make it pop. Snap, crackle, and pop. Put that back up there. There we go. There we go. It's a good thing there's an undo button, because I really like to mix those lines up with the colors I'm trying to do. Okay. What colors should the eyes be? Do y'all have any ideas? Yeah, I guess so. Like a porcelain teapot isn't scary, but if someone throws it at you, that's kind of scary because you don't want to get hit in the head with a porcelain teapot. But to be fair, that's probably not what you meant when you said that. So, does anyone have any ideas for what color they want the eyes to be? I could think of one if I just sit here long enough, but how about we get some audience participation? That'd be fun. And in the meantime, I'll get some water because I'm thirsty again. I'm thinking a shade of purple, but I don't know if I want it to be dark purple or light purple or a little pinkish purple. In the meantime, I'll put the lines back up so it doesn't look quite as stupid. Let me cycle through the purples. I like that. Bluish purple. That's a good idea. Let's see. Ooh, that's a haunting color. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay, well that layer doesn't want to go. Go. There we go. How's about them apples? Dang it. I really like to put white on those lines. Excuse me. Whoops. That's not the button I wanted to press. Try and clean up the edges here. Let's see. Forgot about this thing called making a smaller brush size. There we go. A little bit of... Is that a good color in your opinion? I think it looks pretty good. Definitely pops, especially with that green. And then the dress itself is going to be like a really pale light blue. Here. Like that. But let's make the brush bigger real quick. Here we go. You think it's good? Well, good. That makes me happy. Like I said, I thought that color really complemented the greenish, the teal hair. I guess it's teal. Excuse me. Trying to think of something to talk about. I need to get better at coming up with things on the fly to talk about. So the other day a friend and I were talking about our favorite cereal, breakfast cereal. And it's something that I've been thinking about a little more and more as I think more and more about my diet. And I want to know, what's y'all's favorite breakfast cereal? Because we, my friend and I, we unanimously agreed that Reese's Puffs is pretty dang good. It is without compare. But there are some others that I like. And it is kind of easy to get tired of Reese's Puffs. Like, it's not really a food you could eat every day so much as just... I can't think of anything I would ask for if given the option. Cookie Crisps? It's been a while since I've had Cookie Crisps. I had the Malto Meal equivalent, and let me tell you, it is not any... Typically, Malto Meal is just as good, if not better. That's not the case with Cookie Crisp. Like I said, it's been a while since I've had Cookie Crisp, but the vague memory I have was that it was much better than the generic equivalent. They got that formula down to a science. There are a couple cereals I wanted to try recently, because there's some, every once in a while when you're a kid you can convince your parents to get a new brand, experiment a little bit with what you eat for breakfast. And there's some that it seems like it's been a very long time since I've had. Cookie Crisp is one of them. But Apple Jacks, I don't think I've had Apple Jacks in a while. And it's kind of sad. I think that's an iconic cereal, but it's also incredibly sugary. So, but to be fair, most cereal is. What I've been eating mostly recently, I've been eating Honey Nut Cheerios. Those are pretty good. Those are classic. Rice Krispie. Well, I was about to say treats just impulsively, but no, Rice Krispies. And I don't know if y'all remember Kix, but I remember liking those as a kid. And let me tell you, I was a strange kid because they aren't as bad as I've heard other people say they are, but they aren't good. They just kind of taste like nothing with a very thin layer of sugar on them. So, I don't know. Maybe go try them out yourself, see if you like them. I kind of feel bad that I've already exhausted my explanation of how I feel about the new Smash Brothers character announcement. Because I think I already had a couple people in the chat when I talked about that. But anyone who knows me knows that if there's anything in the world that I could talk for eons about, there's just something special about Smash Brothers and my ability to complain about it or be happy with it. It's funny how much I can potentially complain about Smash Brothers with how much I absolutely love that game. Do you want a light gray? I guess we can go with the same shade of whatever we did, the very light gray we did with the face. But yeah, in case we have anyone in the chat who, I mean, I don't know if y'all, first and foremost, do y'all care about Smash Brothers? Is question one. And then question two is, if you do, have you heard the new character reveal from the Game Awards? Because I don't want to be the one to tell you if you haven't seen it. That is true. I am passionate about Smash Brothers, and I do complain about it a lot. I will say, initially I thought the Smash DLC, it seemed to be something that wasn't catering for me personally. Because, you know, when you think about when Smash Brothers DLC became a thing, it was mostly just like third-party characters, and I'm definitely someone who loves to see like the crazier first and second party Nintendo characters get in. Like I would take a Rhythm Heaven character over a Kingdom Hearts character any day of the week. But I know that kind of makes me a weirdo. A lot of people have expressed no interest in Rhythm Heaven and all the interest in Kingdom Hearts. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, with Smash Ultimate, they have done a much better job in catering to my personal interests, I guess. Which is funny because they also added like the character I hate the most. Not even like I hate playing against him or something. I just don't like that he's there. I do like the idea of Geno being in Smash Brothers, but that comes more from the fact that I know someone who really loves Super Mario RPG and I know it would make him happy. I personally don't have any attachment to Geno, but I do think it would be cool to see him come back in that, you know, it'd be kind of like Banjo-Kazooie 2.0, I guess. But yeah, there was a part of me that thought Geno would make it in the base roster. Obviously, I was wrong, but that's okay. We got Ridley and King K. Rool. I can't complain. Those were like two of the three characters I wanted the most. It was really cool to finally see that happen. Oh, by the way, I'm using this darkish bluish green for the collars and stuff. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Let's see. But anyway, Yeah, I guess I'll share my opinions on the new character if y'all are okay with it, because one of the funnest things about Smash reveals, even outside of, the character themselves, is just watching the trailer. And I don't want to take that away from you. That'd be kind of sucky. I did it again. I'm such a silly Billy when it comes to that. There we go. But yeah, if you don't want to hear who it is, I guess mute your stream for a few minutes. 3, 2, 1. I do think that Sephiroth is a pretty cool idea. I'd thought about it before. If there had to be another Square Enix character, I guess he makes... I don't want to say he makes the most sense, because I don't really know what goes into that. Initially, I wanted a Slime from Dragon Quest, but I didn't think that was going to happen after, they added a Dragon Quest character, and it wasn't Slime, much to my dismay. So I was like, well, I guess the next best thing is Sephiroth. Since we already got Cloud, why not? Excuse me just a second. Excuse me. But yeah. I'm sure that's a surprise to some people who know me that I'm actually happy about Sephiroth. But I don't know. I think it'll be cool to play as him. I don't know. I'm hoping it's a character that I'm actually gonna have fun playing as, I guess. Because I really got excited about Steve in Smash Brothers, but I would even like to go so far as to say that, yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. I didn't see it coming. Maybe you don't feel like it's as pleasant, Peggy Mo, because I know you wanted Sora, but I think it's a pleasant surprise. I've kind of stopped predicting characters, so everything is a surprise. Whether or not it's pleasant or unpleasant is a different story. But I don't know. Maybe I've just become a more jovial person. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, Final Fantasy VII, it's already there. It's a big game. Sephiroth is a big name. I did mean to rhyme that. I tried to think of another rhyme, but I couldn't in time. Hey, are we done coloring? There we go. What was the reveal that stopped my predictions? Probably Joker. Because I realized when I try to predict things, I just get my hopes up. And that was the character that broke me. Because I was like, what is this? I'm happy for the people that wanted him, but I wasn't among them. And then I just kind of decided I'll just go along for the ride. I was okay with Hero. I figured it would happen eventually because Dragon Quest is kind of a... I don't want to say it's a big deal, but as far as gaming history goes, it is the original JRPG, I suppose. You want an Among Us engineer? Okay. I don't know, maybe I've gotten to the point in my life where... no, I don't want to say that. I'm still very fickle about my likes and dislikes for Smash Brothers. But the idea of an Among Us character is funny. But yeah, anyway, Hero I'm okay with, but I wasn't excited about. It was like, cool. But like I said, I also wanted a Slime. I thought that would be interesting. Banjo-Kazooie I was legitimately excited about. I believe... Oh, hold on. I gotta put my microphone back in the stand. I believe Sakurai said in an interview that it was like, it honestly shouldn't have. It should have happened sooner, but obviously didn't because they're owned by Microsoft. And it just felt like getting the band back together, you know. Terry Bogard, I know who that is. I do not care about Terry because I've never played. Give me a second. Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury is what he's from, right? I've never played Fatal Fury. I don't have a lot of interest in it. I don't have any animosity towards it, but it didn't. I was more excited about the Sans costume. Granted, I do like Undertale and I like Sans, but I'd rather play as a me and have Megalovania playing in the background than hear another word about Terry. Funnily enough, there's been a long string of here, let me go ahead and sign this. There's been a long string of DLC characters I've been really excited about, and it started with the DLC character people complain the most about, which is Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses. Byleth, like, if I had to get a character from that game, I wouldn't have gone with Byleth, but I'm still happy that he's in. I'm happy that Garreg Monastery is a stage. I'm happy that Tearing Through Heaven is a song that you can play while playing Smash Brothers. But I'm one of the 5 people who was excited about it. And then they announced Min Min from ARMS. That was exciting to me. Steve from Minecraft was exciting to me. Sephiroth is exciting to me. It's amazing I'm living in a world where Smash DLC either excites me or doesn't offend me. But yeah, every time they say they're about to announce a character, it always... it's like a coin toss, whether or not the streak of excitement will continue, or it'll just be like another eye roll, like with Terry. I'm just waiting for a Fall Guy. Doom Guy or Master Chief. I would be okay with Doom Guy. Master Chief is still kind of a weird idea to me, but obviously Microsoft is really chummy with Nintendo, so I guess anything's possible. I'm trying to think of some like non-Nintendo characters I would be happy with. Crash Bandicoot's at the top of the list because I love Crash Bandicoot. I'd be happy with Spyro, but I know it's never going to happen. Like if an old guard PS1 mascot happens, it'll definitely be Crash. Here, I guess. Let's see. Oh, let me save this real quick. And then we'll, whatchamacallit, do something else. What do we want to name this character? I don't know. I don't know what I want to name this character. It's a mystery. I guess for now, I'll name her... The Porcelain Portal. No, that sounds like a toilet. I'm not going to name her that. We'll name her Ghost Lady, and I'll come up with a name later. Look forward to the official name in the release of this zine whenever it happens. Alright. There we go. What do y'all think of Ghost Lady? Looks pretty good, huh? Looks spooky. Excuse me. What do y'all have any? Do your other characters have human names or otherworldly names? It depends. For goofy characters, I try to come up with goofy names. The main character of the series the zine is based on, her name is Hazel. Hazel Hamilton. because, well, I suppose I'll dive into why. I wanted to come up with a plant name because the original idea for her design was to kind of base her off of a plant that is associated with like witches' brews and stuff like that, since she's like a paranormal investigator. And I eventually found out about a plant called witch hazel. I was like, oh, hazel, that's a nice name. But then there's other ones where I try to come up with, it's like, what is farmer from the Shadow Realm in Latin? and and then that'll be its name. It depends on the character, I guess. But yeah, do y'all have any suggestions or requests of things you want to see me draw? Keep in mind that I draw very cartoony things, so if you want me to draw the the spaceship from Mass Effect, it's gonna look, well, I'll give you a preview of what that would look like. Dude. There. That's what it would look like. I'm just kidding. I would put some effort into it, but it wouldn't look good. Anyway, yeah, it depends on the character. Like, a monster that eats a lot of food, naming it the second stomach just seemed perfect. Just like a masterpiece. It'd be like the Mona Lisa if Mona Lisa wasn't in it, whereas if I'm trying to come up with a godlike being, I'm not going to call it second stomach. So I guess it depends. But specifically for the zine, since a lot of the creatures in universe are things that just a normal gas station worker or something saw, their names are probably going to be a little simpler, because a normal average everyday person isn't going to look at a creature and be like, oh, that's Zophagus the Destroyer. They're gonna, if they see a shadowy fox creature, they're going to be like, oh, that's the night fox. And, case in point, one of the most famous easily the most famous cryptid, a giant gorilla-like monster that is vaguely humanoid, but not enough to be classified as human. And what do people call it? Bigfoot. Because they're like, that thing's tall, it's probably got some big feet on that sucker. And that's what they call him. So yeah, I try to go with that. I guess I'll talk about, let's see. Let me try and pull up one of the pictures I was working on. Where is it? Where is that sucker? Huh. No, it's not that one. Ghost lady. Where is it? Ah, okay. Well, never mind. There was one I was working on. Can you draw something you saw in your dreams? Huh. What's something I've seen in my dreams? I see a lot of... I guess I can draw... I'll draw the creepy tornado roller coaster. So now whenever I talk to people, my friends and family, about the weird nightmares I had as a kid about tornadoes, they'll be like, you drew that, and I know what it looks like. So I'll try and draw the tornado roller coaster. Um, and I'll just leave it on a cliffhanger as to what that even means. Anyway, I was drawing a creature. It's basically a giant brick wall that when you're alone in like an abandoned building, whether it's actually a like dilapidated or just a building no one's in, well, either or, because that makes it creepier. There, it's supposed to be this creature that like comes out and it takes up the entire corridor, and it just comes towards you until you either run out of the building or it gets you. And it has like a clock and an alarm for a head, and like metal pipes for arms that stretch down the hall and stuff like that. It's probably, in my head, it looks really creepy. But as far as the naming goes, if someone saw that, they wouldn't try to think of a. I'm trying to, whenever I name the characters, I'm trying to think like a normal person wouldn't go home and go, "What is a cool name for that terrifying thing I saw?" They'd be like, "That's the living wall. It's like a big brick wall, and it was coming towards me, so obviously it's alive, you know." Let's see. I'm trying to remember what the roller coaster looked like. Every time I reimagine it in my head, it looks like the tree house from Kids Next Door, but it's made of giant red, like Donkey Kong girders. Let's see. Here's the ground here. Let's put the ground. And we always just ended up on top of it. You know, there was never a line or a ramp or anything. When I was a kid, tornadoes terrified me for various personal reasons. Mostly because I was in a few predicaments where tornadoes were a legitimate threat to me and the people I cared about. And so I had a collection of nightmares growing up about tornadoes. And most of them took place on what I call the tornado roller coaster, because it was a roller coaster, and every time I got on it, a tornado would form, and the railing, let's see, like, here, I'll just put that there, and here's, yeah, that's true. You don't really need a reason, but it was, you know, like, imagine the rhino from James and the Giant Peach. You don't need a reason to be scared of that, but the rhino killed his parents, so he had an extra reason. And that was kind of me with the tornado, except the tornado didn't kill anyone. So, let's see. The ramp always went off like that. And here's like I said, where you load up. And every time that we got on this roller coaster in the dream, and there's our little car. There's me saying, "I don't like this." Inevitably, storm. Whoops. What just happened? Don't do that. Ah! Hold on a second. Put that back there. What the heck? There. Anyway. Inevitably, every time we got on here, storm clouds. Uh-oh, nice and eerie. And then tornado. It's spinning. And it would go right at us, and then I'd wake up, and I'd be like, darn it, I hate those dreams. But yeah, it basically looked like the Kids Next Door tree house, but with big girders coming out of it. I don't know why. I don't know what the functionality was of the girders. But they were there nonetheless. There we go. A nice big critter coming out of a tree house. There, I drew something from my dreams. I'm sorry it looks terrible. But now you have seen into the darkness of Cabbagehead and the child inside who cries at tornadoes. To be fair, whenever tornadoes happen now, I handle it like a champ. I don't have a nightmare and cry because I'm an adult. Alright. We're going to draw something else. I don't want to draw that. I don't want to give it more detail. What's something else from a dream I've had? There's just a big catalog of things I've seen in dreams. But most of them are so mundane. That's what makes my dreams so funny, is that all of them are fever dreams, but well, they feel like fever dreams, but they're normal. Here is the bookstore. And we'll do the roof up here. And here's the little nook where you can sit and read your book. Right next to the window. There's the cushion. Beep, 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 beep. Here's the door. Everything around here is glass. Which is pretty cool. It's a nice looking bookstore that doesn't actually exist, unfortunately. I think there's like an open close sign here. Doesn't look quite as rudimentary as that, but you know, whatever. Some more wooden paneling. There's some not mirrors, windows right here. Like when you walk in, there's like a circle part, a circular kiosk, whatchamacallit. And here's some books. Smiley Man book. Bowl of soup book. Here's a Bible. And then a street right outside. And then across the street, you got... we want to put them at an angle, sorry. We got some other stores. Come on in. Open. You got a bank, probably. Turns out to be my Willoughby. Well, let me look up what that means. Willoughby. I'm guessing you just mean like a dream that surfaces. Twilight Zone. Oh, okay. I always liked the idea of the Twilight Zone, but never really watched it. You know, sometimes I talk big like I'm super cultured, referencing James and the Giant Peach and Dragon Quest. One day I'll watch Twilight Zone though. It's a cool concept. But if it's coming from Twilight Zone, I'm guessing it turns out to not be something I want it to be. And then down here, you know, the street goes that way. Down here is like a beach. And here, I have to look up a, let me pop out the chat real quick in case someone says anything, because I'm going to be consulting a reference. And let's see if y'all see that reference. There we go. Alright, so in the distance, we've got A little tiny head. Here, let's zoom in. Excuse me. Tiny head. A man so desperate to visit a town. He sees in a dream he jumps off a moving train, only for the last shot being a hearse with Willoughby Funeral Home on it. Well, I don't know if I want to go to the bookstore that bad. There's plenty of bookstores where I live I'm content with. And also, I'm about to draw one of the reasons I don't want to go to this bookstore. I mean, I guess it would be kind of a cool experience, but let's see. But I also don't want to die. I don't want to die of Godzilla. I know, I just spoiled it. Yes. This happened in a dream once. There was a bookstore, and it got attacked by Godzilla. It was pretty funny. Surprisingly, not a nightmare. Just something that happened. And there's this big tail. And he goes... And then he does his breath thing. Breaks through the glass. And that was my dream. Godzilla attacked the bookstore. Oh, I almost forgot. There. Now it's signed. So there. I drew something from one of my dreams. I hope you like it. I don't really want to add color. I guess I can add some color. You twisted my arm. You twisted my ankle. We got some brown stuff. Excuse me. Got some brown. Because bookstores, any good bookstore is going to be made of wood. And any good wood is probably going to be made of brown. So, naturally. Nice. And then this little thing here. Of course, we've got to return to the blues. I've got some Godzilla blues, because there he is shooting his Godzilla beam. And then Godzilla himself is a very dark, muted, nasty green color. So let's zoom in here. And we'll do some Godzilla green. Yes, that's an actual crayon color. I'm just kidding. It's copyrighted. Of course not. I don't remember what his spiny colors are. I think they're like a grayish. Blip, blip, blip. Perfect. And then the street. It's made of tar, asphalt, all that good stuff. So, there we go. Nice. Perfect. And then we will return to the brown. This cushion was probably like a burgundy, because that goes nicely with brown. And there. Oh, excuse me. There. What do y'all think? Does it look good? Oh, let me zoom out so you can see it in all its glory. I give it an A+. I think this is all you'd need to see, and you would know exactly what happened in that dream. The attention to detail is so good. Honestly, no. What? Oh, I get it. Hold on. I forgot to separate the tar from the beam. There, that's better. I bet you could look at this and you would know so much about the dream that you would even know that my parents met a fisherman dressed in one of those stereotypical yellow, like, rubber rain suit things. Because this picture tells a story. Tells the story of Godzilla destroying a bookstore. And it was drawn by Cabbagehead. Alright, let's do something. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'll erase a couple things. There. That looks better. I think it looks okay without the colors. But I didn't feel like coloring it. I'll do one more drawing and then we'll call it a night. I'm just having so much fun. I'll do another one. Let's see. We talked about Smash Brothers earlier. Who is the character you want to see in Smash Brothers the least? Think of a video game character, and when people say, I want to play as that character, you just go, ugh, gross. I know who that is for me. It's a lot of characters, but I'm taking requests from the chat. Like, who gets a visceral reaction from you? Is it Mario? Is it Wario? Is it Waluigi? I hope it's not Waluigi. Waluigi needs to be in Smash Brothers. And no, not because of a meme. It's because he's a character I like. But while we're waiting, I'll draw some Waluigi. Let's see. You start with that. Pointy chin. Pointy nose. He has a mustache that jets out like that. You don't know. You mean to tell me you haven't thought as intently about it as me? I can't believe there's people like that out there. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I'm just a little too passionate about it. Let's see. We'll draw Waluigi, and I'll try to make it good. I don't remember how his eyes look, but I guess that's why people do these things called references. Waluigi. There's a picture of him with a gun. Nice. Grover Cleveland. Alright, we'll do Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. That's a big man. That's a good picture. Got his top hat and his coat. Excuse me. Pop out the chat. Grover Cleveland. Nice. Okay, so Grover Cleveland, you want to start with his little head. He has a little hair like that. Kind of wraps around, almost like a headset in a sci-fi movie or something, but it's his hair. Let's get a better shot of his face. Look at that. He got a big nose. Best kind of nose. There we go. Got kind of bored person eyes, which I specialize in drawing. Got a big mustache. I mean, I guess it's not that big, but it is. It's like a caterpillar. Got kind of a pouty lip. And a double chin. Nice. Oh, most importantly and most distinctly, he does have ears. I'll erase that. Maybe Grover Cleveland will be in my zine. I mean, no one's seen him in a while. But he's out there. There we go. So that's his head. Then he's got his bow tie. Naturally. Because he was, as we all know, as we all learned in American history, Grover Cleveland was easily the most classy gent to run our country. Now, he is wearing a trench coat, but boy, is he... Let's see. He's a big boy. It's like if you tried to get me to wear a trench coat a couple years ago. There we go. There's our good friend. There. And then... No one's seen or heard from him in a while. How do we actually know he was... I mean, sure, I'm looking at a photograph of him, but it could be like that Bigfoot photograph everyone's seen. It's kind of blurry and black and white. We don't have verifiable evidence of his existence. Alright. Probably had a little collar on his shirt, because that's what shirts tend to have. Doot. Excuse me. You know what? Don't just let him hold the top hat. What was wrong with that photographer? Assuming, of course, this is actual proof of his existence. Let's put that bad boy on his head. Heck yeah. Nice. Smash that like button. This is the only place you're going to see the top hat on his head and not in his hand. This like, you're not going to get this kind of content anywhere else, man. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe there's another picture that he took where he put it on his head, but I don't feel like looking for it. So, for all intents and purposes, this is the only picture of Grover Cleveland you can find where he actually puts the top hat on. I think he just didn't want to try and step on Abraham Lincoln's toes. He was like, I can't live up to that. It's already bad enough that this trench coat is bursting at the seams. Goodness. I feel bad. I'm sure he was well aware of his weight, but I am now well aware of it as well, having to look up this picture. No, the buttons are like right here. They're stretching. There you go. And there's his, you know, there's a leg. There we go. Excuse me. And let's look up what Grover Cleveland was most known for, and we will have him declaring it to the country. What was Grover Cleveland known for? He was known for his single-minded concentration and dedication to hard work. Well, that's just wholesome. All right. And there's his arm. He got a sassy hand on the side there. And then we'll give him like some sleeves. So there's Grover Cleveland, and he says, what was it? Single-minded concentration ... and hard work for all Americans. And I think that is beautiful. There's a speech bubble, very shaky one, very professionally drawn. There you go. Single-minded concentration and hard work for all Americans. And I think that is just beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye. Maybe give him a couple of like lines where he's poking out a little bit. Oh, hold on. Wait. What would a presidential speech be without a background? And give him a couple of the elementary school stars because I suck at drawing stars so much. There. I like to think that an entire, however long he was in office, 4 to 8 years, went by and there wasn't like a single thing of legislation or anything. He just talked about how much he loves single-minded concentration and hard work. Like he was just this, I don't even want to say like a puppet or anything, because that insinuates that there were people pulling the strings. I like to think we just went a while where we just appreciated hard work and single-minded concentration. And there you go. Grover Cleveland. Remember to give him the top hat, because it's kind of messed up they didn't let him wear it. He had to hold something while he had this picture taken. Because we all know how long pictures are taken. Maybe it's just a really, really good painting. I don't know. It's probably not. It looks like a picture. a photograph. But yeah, and then make sure to give him the double chin. He does have one of those. Excuse me. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Maybe as time goes on, I'll get better at not doing that. Yeah, double chin, top hat. Have him giving a rousing speech about something. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, I guess. Yeah, I don't think he was known for much beyond just being kind of rotund. And his name is Grover. That's pretty good. It's probably why he got elected. So yeah, check my Twitter later. And I will upload this. And you can have it for free. I could put it on a t-shirt. I could sell it for $20. But I'm not gonna, because I'm a nice guy. Okay. In conclusion, thank you for sticking it out. That makes it sound like this is a chore. Crap. Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Anyway, thank you for having fun, giving me ideas, and talking to me. You have none of my... Ah! I knew there was an oversight. Well, this is a series of trials and errors. Oh, well, there's my handle down there in the bottom right-hand corner, Cabbagehead TWT on Twitter. So yeah, go there, and you can have this picture. Thank you for sticking it out. And one more time, this has been a celebration stream, because yesterday I announced my eventual outing as a VTuber. That's going to be so fun. I'm working hard all by myself doing it. It's just a way to flex my artistic muscles and brains. And earlier I even gave a little sneak peek. Here he is again. Hello. This is me. Oh, here I go into the corner. I'll see you all in January. Okay. So yeah. I hope you all have a good night, or if you live in a part of the world that is in nighttime, I hope you have a good day/afternoon. And I don't know, let's do this again sometime. I don't know when I'll stream next. Maybe Saturday. Maybe we'll go for Saturday. Saturday it is. I'll stream Saturday. All right, have a good night, everyone.